Hey team, I had a coaching call today with someone and just wanted to share kind of a takeaway that I had from the coaching call, just listening to her and her verbiage and the way that she was wording things. A couple of, I want to start by saying that what you say and the words that you speak, they matter. And, you know, I tell my girls all the time, there's this Toby Mac song that we love that's called Speak Life. And so I tell my girls all the time, speak life today. And everybody you're around, to your teacher, to your sister, to your friends, to anybody that you come in contact with, you have a chance to speak life to them. But as I was listening to this, and that's so true, all that's true. But as I was listening to this gal talk today, while we were doing our coaching, she's one of the kindest people that I know. But my gosh, the words that she was using about herself and about her business were death. They were not life-giving words. What's the opposite of life, right? And the Bible talks so much about how much power our words have, that we have to be very careful because our words become, our thoughts become words and our words become our actions. Like what we're thinking about, we are bringing out in our actions. And so a couple of things stuck out and that she said, like, well, I don't have a team. Nobody's working. No one will answer me. I'm sending messages. No one answers me. No one's liking my post. It wasn't even just negative because it's almost like she was saying it with a smile. It was the oddest thing. But I realized that those negative words and thoughts had really begun to take root in her mind, and they were coming out obviously in what she was saying, and then for sure in how she was acting. Because here's the deal. I started thinking about, okay, even just the phrase, well, I don't have a team, or no one will answer me. You guys, the problem with those things is that it begins to become self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Like, I don't have a team. Well, you're not, that's the problem, is we're not going to attract a team if we feel like there's no team out there that would even work if we got them. No one's answering me. Well, if you're saying that about your post and about the messages that you're sending out, well, no one answers me. Well, host a post doesn't work for me. Or I do host a post. I did 5 host a post and nobody even responded, or whatever it might be. What happens is that your brain is looking for ways to prove that right. It doesn't want to be wrong. It wants to take the path of least resistance. And so you've got to start making that change in your mind. And you know, I remember when I first started hearing about this, if I'm being honest, like in 2012 and 13, and thinking, well, I'm just not someone that can be fake. I can't be fake. I can't just fake it and be like, well, my team's a Black Diamond team if it's only a this team or whatever it was, right? Like, I was like, I can't be fake. I can't just spew all of these, just positive thoughts and then all of a sudden it's going to happen. But what I started realizing was that it's not being fake and it's not being unrealistic. It's being very intentional with the words that you say. It's being very intentional with the fact that the God of the entire universe gave you the power in your own mind to speak words of life. It says it like, it's the craziest thing if you think about it, that if the power of life and death is in the tongue, then that means the power of life, and if the power of life and human death, like if that's how much power we have is in our tongue, then just imagine how much power you've got for life and death in your business, for life and death in your marriage, in your friendships, in all of your relationships. Like, every single thing you put your hand to, you've got the power of life and death right here with the words that you're saying. And so I would just encourage you, and this is something that I'm working on. I have not mastered this, so I almost didn't even want to make a video because I was like, gosh, but I still at times wake up and am like, nobody answered me today. I sent out 20 messages before bed and nobody answered. Like, I still do it. And so I was like, I don't want to preach something that I haven't mastered yet. But just know I'm in the process of it and I'm becoming more and more aware. And I don't feel like I'm being fake anymore whenever I just switch some of the words around. And so little things like, maybe you don't have a team, but instead of saying, I don't have a team, saying, I'm actively looking for my team, right? I remember a lot of us this last year, Mark talked a lot about, we would use the word rebuilding, and we would use you know, things like that. And I loved how he kind of just even changed that verbiage to reloading, because that's something we always have to do in this business, right? But it doesn't feel so daunting to reload as it does to rebuild and like start fresh constantly. And so instead of saying things like no one will answer me, just I can't wait until I open my phone tomorrow and someone is going to answer me back. It's the simplest things, but just changing that verbiage. And and I'm telling you, when it begins to happen, I'm already noticing a difference. And I've noticed a difference even in the last few years of just taking more honest stock and account of what, first of all, what I'm putting into my mind. That's another video for another topic, another time, but not just what I'm putting into my mind, because obviously what I'm putting in here is going to affect everything else, but what I'm saying and the words that I'm speaking. And if I go back and take account of a conference call I have, or in things that I'm saying mentally, or when I'm venting to Dan about stuff, like what words am I using? Are they life-giving words over my business, or are they words of death and defeat and nobody? And am I saying things like that? The things that I teach my girls not to say. Never say nobody, never say everybody, never say always. Like all of those words that don't generalize, right? Like, so anyway, I'm kind of all over the place, I know, but I really felt it on my heart to just remind you guys that what you say to yourself matters. And so I would give you just a little bit of homework, and in the comments, or if you want to private message me, that's fine. But like, let me know one thing that you could change, like one lie that you tell yourself, or one thing that you say that's negative. And, you know, using some of the examples, maybe that I don't have a team, no one will answer me. Those were just two that I picked up from her today over and over. But what's one that you say that's negative that you could turn and flip to a positive? Or maybe you don't even know how, and you can, and if you want me to help, and just say, Ashley, this is one thing I noticed that I say a lot, you know, to my team. Nobody wants to do anything. I get people in, but then they don't want to work, or whatever it might be, right? Like whatever, I don't want to put negative stuff in your head, but let's just say, even if you're like, I don't know how to transform this into something positive, and let me see if I can help. I'm not a master at this, but my gosh, I definitely want our team to be one that is growing toward speaking life, not just to other people, but also to ourselves, right? So that's it. I hope you have a great night. I'll talk to you later. Bye.